6.5 over here. So yeah, we 3-ball ace king tiny, get called, get snap called on the flop. Spin 53. Pocket kings. Yeah, fucking got him, boys. Gonna check ace king on a 53. Pocket jacks. Got him. Yeah, got him, boys. I'm loving this impression. Okay, so villain like 3/4 this river is going to be incredibly hard for him to have bluffs here after snap calling, and we block like every bluff in the world with the king of clubs and an ace in our hand, so I'm going to be folding. Fours here we're going to call. Going to call the 3-bet. Very good board for a range. This is one that he really shouldn't be betting at a high frequency. I think we can mix call and raise in this spot if he does bet. If he tries to range bet this spot, we can probably like almost range raise. It's that good for us. It just gets ridiculously sick. We spun a 60 here. I am going to go ahead and bet fours on a 60. I think this is a pretty high EV value bet actually in this spot. It's kind of up there. The extra outs are actually going to make this more of a value bet than something like 8s. Because although he can have 8s in his range, that would, you know, be a better hand in absolute terms. We have more outs here if check called by an overpair. And we're happier to get it in against something like this. I think we're just probably facing delayed c-bet here with 9s. I think we're usually just going to fold against pool, the way they construct range there. Over in this table, I think we are going to be certainly continuing. The question is, do we want to jam? And I don't think so. Although we do have some sets, we don't really need to shove them. And we have a big nut disadvantage here, given he has the better overpairs and should be playing them as check raise. So fairly easy call, I think. I don't really need to be shoving this spot. Yeah, a reasonable turn for my range. I obviously have 9s. He has 9s too, though. Check raising 9s on that flop is going to be a pretty normal thing. And I think we have a pure continue on the turn. Again, there's probably like quite a lot of jam here in GTO. I'm not sure about this spot, like whether I want to shove here. I probably do want to do a lot of shove in equilibrium here. I feel like this is going to be a lot of overpair. Do we shove? Do we call? There's a lot of protection with this hand. We're live when we get it in. If he ever makes a terrible fold here with like jacks or something, it would be hilarious. It'd be brilliant. I don't expect that to ever happen. He does fold there, so we just pick up the full value of the protection in that spot. I think we do want to be jamming there at a high frequency with that hand at that SPR. Although we're in position, I think we just want to do a lot of jam there, boys. I really think we do. Okay, boys. I'm gonna start calling everyone boys today. It's my thing today. Yeah, so 7-7-6, not going to be betting this flop at a super high frequency, but we've rolled high with the 5-3. This hand is usually going to check. It's not a really great hand to start betting with. Against this tiny raise size, we're probably going to have to call, I would think. 10s here is going to be pretty much pure call against UTG. And I guess we're peeling, but this is a already like almost indifferent spot. It's such a small raise, though, I think we are going to have to peel gutters. With pocket 10s over here, just going to be in absolute showdown value city and just going to be calling with a club in our hand. Turn a set. Against the overbet here, we are going to have to fold. And I think against the big bet here, we're just calling on a monotone board. I don't see this being a spot where we really get to do a whole lot of raise, but we are going to be check jamming this river. I mean, yeah, he can have kings, he can have queens. He could maybe have 5s. Apart from that, though, he's got a ton of combos of stuff like ace-jack. He's got some combos of flushes. We do have the 10 of clubs in our hand here. We don't want the 10 of clubs on this node because we want to have a hand like ace-10 of clubs, jack-10 of clubs, something like that. It depends on his sizing. If he goes absolutely massive here, it's going to get a bit interesting. If he goes smaller, it's going to be a raise everywhere. That's what I want you guys to be doing. Ace-queen suited. We're going to go ahead and 3-ball up. Bam. A bit deeper than usual. Finds the fold. King-8. Full frequency call. A bit too good to bluff this one. Hand's getting there with the showdown value. Do a little bit of raise on this flop. We roll a 76. I'm going to go ahead and raise against that. The showdown value goes down a little bit against the bigger sizing. It's a bit more polar. Well, actually, maybe doesn't go down, but it remains... the pot odds are worse, right? So calling is a bit worse, I guess is what I'm trying to say. 4x of this would be about 11. Go ahead and raise this time because we roll high. We don't have to raise this combo, of course. Not a board villain should actually be c-betting that much. This board gets over c-bet in general. I have a big enough HUD sample on this guy. He does find the call on the turn. We're going to want to bet really frequently with his hand again. We're going to avoid overbetting at this SPR, though it's a bit awkward. We do roll a 0, though, and so we're probably going to check this time. on a 0. I think this hand does almost always want to bet, but sometimes it will check. King River's interesting. I doubt I can value bet here. I doubt that if I block, I'm going to get called enough times by jacks or 7s or something. I could try it, but this guy looks a bit tight, and he's called my flop raise. Therefore, he's filtered quite heavily towards ace-x. I think I'm going to lose more against an ace than I'm going to gain against worse by blocking this hand. I think it has to be a check. I'm probably just check folding with these blockers, right? Not really looking to check call this combo on the river here. I don't think. I mean, it's just a bit too difficult for villain to play exactly air this way, especially when we hold these cards. So even though we do have a bluff catcher, we do have showdown value here, like we're going to be losing here too often. I don't mind shove actually, but with the 2 club blockers, I don't really love it. I want to jam this time with this hand. Do I want to jam this hand ever? Probably not really with these suits. Okay, I'm going to fold ace king on queen 4-4. We're going to go ahead and just bet small. We're going to be doing loads of small betting on queen 4-4 at high frequency. Doesn't really matter what our hand is at this point on this node. We're just going to be betting for now and splitting on the turn. King turn, very good for us. We're going to go bomb, bomb, blast, blast now. Ace king's a bit too good for me to want to start checking, especially against this pool, which doesn't tend to bluff often enough for checking to even reach the EV of bet here. So we are just going to go ahead and bet 2/3 pot. We can also just bet a 3rd pot here with range like strategy. Like we can do that. We can have some bigger bets as well though. I don't mind just betting a 3rd there with a really high frequency actually on that card. What that card's going to do is it's going to polarize our opponent a bit more towards hands that are like a queen and really good, or a king and really good, or just an underpair that's been devalued. So going smaller when your opponent's range has been a bit polarized is always a reasonable idea. Pocket 10s mixing here, but usually the 3-ball will come into play in these positions. 5, I'm actually just going to smooth call the button. We've already got isolation from this raise being so big, and I don't really want to do anything against this sizing. We have a pure frequency, full frequency call. Not much else to say, but 10 of clubs in our hand, it's meh. It's not the best spot in the world. If he bets turn pot, we're already indifferent here, to be honest. I mean, it's possible he's merging some 9x with the sizing. We are blocking quite a lot of bluffs. We do unblock diamonds. We do block clubs. I don't actually think folding this spot is ridiculous. This guy's 30-12 already. I need 33% here. I'm losing to all over pairs. I mean, I'm going to call, I think, but I'm not really in love with this spot at all. I think this is super close and on the river. This is not really the bluff catch. I mean, I have to be careful here. I'm not like completely overfolding my range, of course. It's kind of interesting, actually. This is kind of interesting. Kind of unknown guy. Pot, pot, pot. Everything bricks. Does he really want to pot an overpair on the 9? Yeah, I think his value range is too small here. We're calling, boys. We're calling. Let's do it. Show me the bluff. One time. We're calling. His value range is just too small, boys. It's just too small. There's an open on this table. This monotone flop is not one I want to bet super often, but sometimes I'll bet kings here. We could maybe block bet the turn with this combo. When he leads, I'm just going to fold. I think it's so hard to be running into enough bluffs in this spot. Have you been aggro, Beatrice? I mean, like, I remember when you played the home game with us, you weren't really very aggro. You just called me down when I went nuts on you. That's all you did. That's all I remember. In the house. Ginger spice in the house. Alright, mate. What's going on? Who's cracking, mate? You got 20p for the bus? I'm going to use small bets. Going to be betting close to range on this texture in these configurations. He's not going to have a ton of queen here. He's going to 4-bet ace queen off. He's going to have ace queen suited. Some king queen, stuff like that. Against this sizing, I think my hand is a pure continue. Is it? Is there any fold with this holding? I don't think so. Pure continue time. What a turn. 9 of hearts. Pirate Man's going to backdoor his way to glory here. I'm going to be calling a turn bet as well. I don't think shove on this texture is really much of a thing. I don't think it's something we need to do. Villain's just way too polarized here. If he bets his turn, he's kind of telling us he has ace, queen, 4s, 5s. If he checks, it gets super interesting. Actually, I have so much equity that I actually don't think I can reopen the action here. I think I have to like pure check this hand back. It's just too disastrous if we get blown off this. I will be bluffing river because my range is much stronger than my opponent's now. He just has... I just don't have much air at this point in the hand. There's not a lot of air I really get to this river with. I'm going to roll for sizing. I'm not sure. I rolled really small, so I'm just going to go for the smaller of my bets here, which is going to be this size. I'm not sure if I have block in this spot or not in position. I guess I could maybe have block here. I'm not too sure. It's either that or jam, basically, though. I don't think I have a lot of air with that line, but it's important that we check back the turn, though, lads, because if we don't, we're putting ourselves in a very, very precarious position where we actually just bet a third and he shoves and we realise no equity, and better draws shove on us that we would have won against Showdown. you know, value hand shove against us and make us fold like 30% equity. It's really terrible. So you gotta be super careful there before you bet that turn. It might look like an automatic bet to you, but I can assure you that is a blunderous turn bet that you need to avoid. The solver will bet that hand on the turn 0% of the time. You heard it here first. Solve it, sim it if you don't believe me. It's probably gonna be never a bet. Search it on YouTube. Search Poker Coach, you dumb fuck. Look it up, guys. It's fucking hilarious. One of the best things I've watched this year. I think I watched it last year as well. Check with ace-9. I do have the 9 of clubs. Did I ISO here? That's super median-y at this stack depth though. I think I do a lot of check with this holding. Super median-y, middly hand. You're from Norway, good. Nailed it. Good stuff, Elliot. This music's fucked up, man. I'm not having this. No. This is like dance electronic, apparently. Right, now my hand can start mixing bluff, and I just rolled super big. I'm going to make a slight overbet here. I'm not going to make the sizing a lot, but this hand class can sometimes do this, and I rolled a 98. So yeah, it takes it down. Watch them fold like paper, lads. Just watch them fold. We're dominating this pool. I think this is actually a recreational player. I don't have a big sample. We'll just do what the dice say. I don't know, I have a bad feeling about the spot. Like, I feel this 4-bet might just be minus EV against this player because he's maybe not a reg. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Folding a7 here. It's probably okay. It's like close to break even. Maybe a bit losing though. At this stack depth though, it's kind of nice to 4-bet. It's really hard for people to shove on you at this stack depth. I mean, they can do it, but they are risking a lot more than normal. So I think this is okay. Goes into the think tank. Makes the min 5. I have no idea what to do against the min 5. At this stack depth, I probably call though, right? I need some very fortunate flops, but this could be like kings and stuff. Like, I think we have to call for these spot odds. I don't think we have a choice. Oh, flop the ace. We're gonna be going broke, boys. If he's got pocket aces or ace king, good for him. I don't even know if he has ace king at this stack depth. Like, he might just shove ace king, or he might just call ace king. I feel like he has a lot of kings here. Maybe some queens, probably some ace king. Yeah, this makes some sense. Do I want to raise? I don't think so. Oof, that's an annoying turn. While we pick up a ton of equity, we're also just bluff catching now at this point. We need him to like bluff jacks or something. Like, how is he bluffing here? This is such a gross spot. I'm just going to call and fold river probably. I think this is going to be if I don't club up. I think this is super under bluffed if he bets turn and river. Okay, we can probably not value bet here. I think check fold's the best play. I mean, it's going to be super hard to bluff this spot. You have to turn like a king into a bluff or something. Yeah, okay. Weird cold 5-bet spot. Yeah, he does have king queen off, and I wonder if his min click back is a thing. I suspect not, but I could be wrong. And I wonder if he's actually able to bluff the river there with second pair because ranges are so tight in that configuration. Two interesting questions. Probably won't bother simming it later just because it's a stupidly rare spot, but kind of interesting. This player looks weak. I'm just going to 3-ball it pure. Just going to be aggressive here. Be aggressive against this player. Looks like a weaker player. So fuck it. And looks like a tighter, weaker player as well. Okay, king 9-8. I think I will build some checking range here, but I'll be using small bets when I bet. I roll high with the queen jack. I'm going to bet this time. This could be triple city, guys. We unblock spades. We block diamonds on diamond runouts. This could be triple city if we roll a turn bet. 53 with one diamond in our hand and queen jack. Oh, I don't want to bet this turn very often, actually. I think this is a check we've rolled, unfortunately. If we rolled big, I would have tripled for the cameras, but we don't. I don't think we rolled big enough for this combo. I could be wrong. Maybe there's some triple to that. Maybe 53 is enough to bet turn. I'm just trying to approximate the frequency here. Wish I tripled. It'd be very unlikely for him to have a flush here, but we'd have the jack of diamonds. King queen of diamonds is possible, but I think we could still probably overbet the spot and just target like jacks or something. Also go a bit smaller as well. I have a lot of like ace queen bluffs and stuff here. I think with a diamond in our hand, we probably get to make this overbet. Finds the fold, unfortunately. Should have demanded like even 10%, would have been like huge, probably. Oh well, we live and learn. Pocket Cowboys picks up the cold call. In this spot, we're actually gonna check raise. The SPR demands it. If he's got jacks or queens, he's usually betting. If he's got ace queen, he can bluff. Checks the highest EV play. King queen suited can bluff. We're gonna check jam. Fuck me, bad turn. Check. I can't possibly bet the spot, I don't think. Ever. If he bets here, I might just fold, guys. Like, what the fuck does he check back flop with? Cold call or 3-bet, check back flop, and now bluff? Nah, not having it. I'm just folding if he bets. Done. I'm out there. Don't pay these spots off, guys. Like, yeah, this is just never a bluff, ever. Like, he's not going to check back jacks and queens and now bet the turn. Either he's aggro enough to bet flop with them, or he's not betting on the ace turn. If he has ace queen, ace king, this makes perfect sense. If he has a slow played set, this makes perfect sense. He wants to slow play on the flop, but now he doesn't want it anymore. If he has 7s or 8s and he's bluffing, good for him. I don't think it's likely. I fold. C'est la vie. That's the following Stingaroo. Yeah, we'll need to have another heads-up tournament where we have, like, Upswing Battle de Rossi. King 8-5 against small blind. I don't really want to be betting this hand super frequently. I think people make more mistakes against check on this node, so I'm just going to check back. King 6-6, I'm going to wait for this guy to check first. That would be the polite thing to do. If that was a live game, I would have just bet out a turn. So we face the typical I am betting to half pot because you check line, which we snap up, and we snap river here. Very good bluff catcher. Blocking 9-6 suited, blocking kings. This hand I am going to bet the river with because they bet turn so merged. I'm actually going to bet this sizing. It goes about right with my hand strength. King 6-6, I'm just going to range bet. Not too many boards I range bet these days. I love to split my range because people make so many more mistakes when you split your range, but that's one that I think betting all the time is going to be pretty good on. Back over here, we're waiting for the call from the 8-6 that probably shouldn't have bet that big on the turn. Waiting on the call from the 8-6, from the 4s, from the whatever. I don't know what he's doing with this tiny raise size. I mean, it's probably a thing he can do. I don't think we get to fold any pairs though. Not even deuces. It's got to be very defend happy in this line. We will full turn with this holding. It's just not really the sort of hand. It's too easily counterfeited. The boat outs aren't really even that nutty. I mean, they're nutty, but they're not like the uber nuts. There's Jack 6 and King 6 about. I think our hand is mostly check on the turn. Feels a bit good to turn into a bluff still. Feels not good enough to bet for protection. Yeah, I think we just check here. Terrible river, but one that we can bluff deuces on, I think. I think we're now really low down in our range. If he checks here, we're definitely bluffing, boys. Yeah, we're definitely bluffing. We rolled really big, so I'm going to overbet. I have like all the uber nuts in this spot. I could go 4x pot here quite comfortably. In fact. Yeah, I roll really big. I have aces, ace 6, quads, jacks, all this kind of thing. Let's do it! That's some 4x pot in your game. Gotta have a bit of 4x pot in your game, am I right? Am I right, boys? Don't want to overdo this. I did roll very high to do this. I really hope I don't run into the guy that calls wider against 4x pot than against normal. That would fucking suck. Why am I contemplating a 3-bet here? This is a pure call. What am I doing? What am I doing? Calling 1/3. Tanking. As if we're rolling a raise, right? We might have an ace. We might have a raising roll. Not this time. Turn, it's going to be awful if he bets big. Like, it's going to be a really annoying spot. I really hate having this king of spades here. God. I mean, probably super indifferent here, actually, already. 19. I rolled an 82 first. Ah, fuck, man. I mean, it's a half pot net. 100% turn barrel. 2 out of 2. Okay, in that case. In that case, we'll take the 3-1. Time to bluff river. If they check here, we're bombing. Because we really don't have many bluffs on this node. I'm not taking my showdown value here. I'm bombing against ace X no club. Oh, let's do it, guys. How big do we bomb? Let's ask the RNG. 34. Just gonna bet like 2/3 pot on that roll. That's fine. Should fold out an ace on this roll a lot. That's what we're targeting. We could go bigger here too, but I think we want to bluff this hand. It's like right at the bottom of our range. It's almost a fold on the turn. We really want to. We want to be able to value bet like the queen of clubs here as well, so we don't want to go massive with all of our value bets, with all of our bluffs. Some of our bluffs will want to pick this sizing, so we like the sizing. Let's wait for the fold. Drum roll, please. Dum 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 dum. And oh shit, am I being sniped? Fuck, I did take ages here. A call's an ace. That's a really losing call against Bull. Really losing call. Station. Fucking station. Today's graph up 3.5 buy-ins over 768 hands. All in EV, we're running good, good, good. A little bit above EV.